How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Exela. I know it's been a minute. I've been getting the messages saying, Dre, we need to get an update. What's going on with the price action? Have you looked at it as of late? So I'm like, you know what? This video is for you guys. I won't waste any more time. Let's get into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We want to take a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance, and what direction do we want to see as far as price levels for Exela. And then afterwards, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership. Have institutions been loading up on shares in regards to their filings? We're going to find out. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. Were institutions loading up on shares on Friday? We're going to be figuring that out as well, because if institutions are continuing to buy up shares, then of course we know they're looking for a potential return on their investment. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more key details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Exela. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $2.59, being up 1.17%. On the low, it tested $2.53, and then on the high, testing $2.65. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see it traded at 16.291 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 30.474 million shares. So we almost had half the volume that we've had over 10 trading days, and it's part of the reasons why we don't see as much strong price action inside of the stock. But one thing that is good to see, it did end up finishing green on a volatile Friday. Now, so when we take a look at our chart, which we're using the 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, we're at 51.60, so we're pretty much in the middle there. And we do continue to have momentum above the 200-day, the 100-day, and you guys know I love this already. We are sitting on top of the 21-day EMA at $2.52, and we close at $2.59. And it does look like we're trying to make this move to the 50-day at $2.68. But one thing that is clear, we do have some resistance at that $2.65 level that we tested on the Friday. And if we're able to actually get past it, then I'd want to look forward to seeing some momentum above the 50-day, to be honest with you. And one thing about this particular area, if we're able to get into this mid 260 and hold it, we have shown to have support in this particular area. So if Exela can hold this up, then we can look forward to seeing even a stronger push where we can start making that move going into the 270s and of course going into the 280s and seeing what can happen from there. If it does decide to pull back as far as for Tuesday and as the rest of this week progresses, you're going to want to see the 21-day continue to hold up at around 250, and if it breaks below 250, that's where you can see there's some downside pressure here, where the next level that preferably you want to see hold up will be right here around this 243 level. But if we're going to be bullish here, we want to see some momentum above the 50-day. That's what matters here. That's a play you want to look out for. So again, let's see what happens going into Tuesday. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Exela. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So you can see from the month of September is concerned, we do not have any recent filings, but we do have them for August the 30th. The last time we did a video, I think it was on August the 20th. So we can go from after that particular date. So we could see Morgan Stanley went in with just over 200,000 shares on August the 23rd. And we also have Blackstone Alternative Investments. Look like they just did, yeah, there it goes. We have negative 200 shares as well with a value of 0. And then another thing to take into consideration, we have IEQ AI powered equity ETF that has a closed position here, and you can see they fully came out of that as well. Now going down even further, let's just go to the 17th. We have Booth Bay Fund Management went in with 38,280, and of course we have some closed positions here, but I'm pretty sure I covered that on the last video that I did for Exela. Now, so we take a look at the short interest information. Scrolling down on the page, short shares availability is at 4.7 million, up updated 3 minutes ago, and for the short borrow fee rate being at 2.76%. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the first, it was at 54.47. Now for the second is at 37.79, and then for the close on the Friday, it was at 32.10. So we are seeing a downtrend in regards to the short volume ratio. So that means as far as for the market sentiment, it's starting to become a lot more positive. But the more this stock begins to move and it more starts showing up due to the fact that, you know what, it does look like it's showing some strength as far as on our indicators here, I wouldn't be shocked to see that short volume ratio go up. But again, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because if we have a lot of buying pressure, then we could see some strong moves to the upside. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for XELA. So we can see here on the inflow, it's at 9,150, and then on the outflow, it's at 7,990. So on the large, for the inflow side, we had 2,739, and then on the medium, we had 5,130, and then on the small, we had 1,281. Now, on the outflow side, on the large, we had 1,723, and then on the medium, we had 4,724, and then on the small, we had 1,542. So what we can see clearly here, we did have an inflow day, but on the retail side, what you notice, we did have a lot of selling that happened on Friday. Keep in mind, this is only for the small scale orders. Besides that, for the medium and as well as the large, we ended up having a surplus. So now when we have the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for Friday, it was at 1.02, and this is in the millions. So taking that into consideration, the past 4 days were all outflows. So institutions have been loading up on shares of XELA. So I know many current shareholders will be excited to actually hear that. And since we know, hey, they're looking for a return on their investment, this is a good look. One thing to keep in mind, this stock was given an average mean price target among analysts at $4.50. And considering where it's priced right now, being in the mid $2 range, there could be some opportunities here. I'll talk further about it inside of the final thoughts, so let's get to it right now. So for my final thoughts for XELA, there's a lot of things to look forward to, whether you're a shareholder or you're thinking to trade off the momentum inside of this play. One thing that we can clearly see, it is gaining some steam on the chart, and what I want to see it do is get past $2.65 and then make that move going to $3. I know this is going to be a psychological area. There's going to be a lot of profit taking like we saw on Friday with the small scale orders. There was a lot of selling on the retail side, but due to the fact that institutions are loading up and there's also a price target around $4.50 among analysts, I wouldn't be shocked for it to see $3 for this week. So considering where it closed at around $2.59, there is some upside. As far as where it goes from there, it's going to be dependent on volume. If you have noticed, before XELA used to see a lot of volume, so you saw a lot of price action. But due to the fact the volume has died down quite a bit, if we end up having a resurgence coming into the stock, then there's no doubt in my mind we should be able to see a lot more momentum above $3. But that $3 level and gaining momentum above it is so crucial, because I know that there's going to be a lot of traders that are going to be like, hey, I'm going to get into this play because things are looking really good. But that $3 level is very important, so keep an eye on that. The next thing is when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest, of course, XELA has short squeeze potential, but the short volume ratio has been on a downtrend. So what that tells us as far as for the overall market sentiment, it is getting a lot more positive. It's not as negative as it was before, and that's for just reasons due to the fact it was being considered as a meme stock. And again, there's just a lot of trading going through it. So now that it's kind of stabilized, let's see it hold up that 250 level like I talked about. Then you want to see it go to 265, and once it passes 265, then we can look forward to seeing some momentum from there for the most part. That's the most preferable situation. Anyone who's in this play for the long term, of course, you've had the the opportunity to average down since it pulled back, and now that it's gaining some steam, you're probably looking at your average and you're like, hey, things are a lot better now. And this is why it helps to make sure you do your homework and you do your due diligence when you're inside of these plays, especially these meme stock type of plays, because some of these companies actually have solid businesses behind them. So taking that into consideration, if you see the price is beaten down quite a bit, that's your opportunity to pounce on it, because you already know when all of the smoke clears, this stock does have some upside. So like I was saying previously, if you're going in this play for the short to medium term, look out for that level to hold up around 250. If you're in this thing for the long term, you should have been loading up already. And if you still want to load up, hey, there's still some upside here due to the fact that analysts do see it potentially going to $4.50 on average. And with everything that I just kind of covered as far as institutions are concerned, we also did see on Fintel from the filings, we also did see from the order flow that they've been loading up on shares. So that definitely would give you a lot of confidence, and it's something you could add to your research and as well as your homework. And keep an eye on the technicals, and as long as it continues to look bullish due to the fact of how the uptrend is looking on the chart, there could definitely be some strong moves to be had inside of this play. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.